One of the most hyped, most viral fragrances inevitably is the original Khamrah by Lattafa. And then of course we've had Khamrah Kawa, which is an added coffee type of a fragrance. It has that cinnamony, boozy, amber thing that's happening in the original, but with that added note of coffee. And I know a lot of people really enjoy that one as well. Well, here we have the brand new fragrance. This literally just came out. This is called Khamrah Dukhan. And so this is a spicier take on the original, presumably. Nevertheless, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this brand new release in just a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Khamrah Dukhan by Lattafa, and as you can tell, it has more of a rosy hue at the bottom with that gradient going up to clear, but the juice inside is kind of ambery, so that looks like there's this dual coloration on it, but it's really just one color on the bottle. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. It would really mean a lot to me. So I know there are so many fans of the original, and I think the existing narrative for a lot of people, maybe not for everybody, but for a lot of people, is that the original Khamrah is Lattafa's take on Angel Share by Kilian Paris. Now, when you do a side-by-side, you notice that they're actually quite different from one another. Yes, inevitably, one is inspired by the other, similar presentation, similar DNA. It's spicy, it's boozy, it's ambery. There's that, spicy, boozy richness in it that the original also has to offer, but Lattafa inevitably did their own take on it. Totally respectable. So then Khamrah Kawa is actually one of my favorites, and I love wearing that one, especially in the colder weather. You have that cinnamony, ambery thing happening, but with that really rich coffee note. It doesn't smell like a freshly brewed pot of coffee or anything like that. But here we have a spicy take on the original. As a matter of fact, when I smelled this, I thought it was closer to Khamrah Kawa than the original. But at the end of the day, I'm here to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, the notes, the smell, the longevity, the projection, the performance on my skin, and I'm gonna try to make some comparisons throughout the course of this video. But let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, first up, as soon as this fragrance opens up, I have to be perfectly honest with you. It reminded me a lot of Khamrah Kawa. So much so that I would say if you have Khamrah Kawa, you don't really need this one. Or I should say, wait until that bottle runs out before you purchase this one. And I know it's hard to resist the temptation to purchase a Lattafa fragrance, especially considering the fact that they're so inexpensive. They're so affordable and they have a lot to offer. And the presentation is beautiful. And I know the quantities that they produce them in are massive. And when I say massive, I mean massive. I see how many sales are happening for Lattafa, and kudos to the brand. They're working super hard, and they had the most elaborate presentation at Beauty World in Dubai. I mean, Lattafa is really making moves in the perfume world, and it's quite admirable and commendable. This fragrance, I have to be honest with you, is a beautiful, boozy, spicy, rich, ambery take with that warmth in the dry down. There's a bit of sweetness. You have that hint of praline in here as well, but this is going to be a spicier take on the Khamrah Kawa DNA. And what I would say is if you have Khamrah Kawa, do not purchase this one. Wait until that bottle runs out. If you're looking for a slightly darker expression, go ahead and check this one out. Now, the differences become a lot more apparent when you do that side by side. So once you juxtapose them, you will notice that, okay, this one is in fact a bit different from Khamrah Kawa. You do have that spicy tendency. It's a little peppery as well, which is really nice at the end of the day if you're looking for a darker, more mysterious take on that Khamrah DNA. Now, the original Khamrah is the one that there are no accents, right? It's bare bones. It's what you see is what you get, or what you smell is what you get, I suppose. And it has that rich ambery tone. This one, I feel like it still has a bit of that coffee lingering in the background. So there's a bit of that Kawa DNA lingering in here as well. And I personally love Kawa because it's a bit sweeter too, in my opinion. And this one takes that sweetness, but also compounds it with this spicy tone that I think is a really nice complement. And it works very well in this DNA. It works very seamlessly, very harmoniously. But again, the redundancy is, I think, what is going to throw a lot of people off. My personal opinion is if you have the original Khamrah and Khamrah Kawa, you don't really need this one. However, if you have that disposable income, or if you're a collector, or if you're really eager to add this one to your collection and you just know that you're a fan of everything that the brand is putting out, especially within this particular collection, pick this one up. Now, the spices are not overwhelming, right? So they're not make you sneeze type of spices. So you're not going to get that from this fragrance, which I think is going to be a good thing for a lot of people. Of course, there are some very, very spicy fragrances out there like Poivre Samarkand by Hermes. I mean, there are many, many spicy fragrances that will make you sneeze. They're photorealistic, peppery scents. That's not the case with this one. It just has this added maturity to it, if I can even say that. If you found the sweetness and the ambery profile and the praline touch to be a bit more youthful in Khamrah Kawa, then you're gonna find that spicy, boozy combination in this one to be far more mysterious, far more mature. I think it's a beautiful scent, albeit one that I would still wear for a romantic scenario as well. So it's not a super professional scent where I would say, yeah, this is CEO vibes, wear this to the office only or only dressed up scenario. No, no, no. I think there's a bit of a playful and casual aspect to it as well. Dare I say even romantic on account of the sweetness. I think it's a great addition to the lineup, albeit quite similar to its predecessors, but I think for a collector, it's one that you'll absolutely enjoy. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it's not the most unique fragrance on the market. I do think it's quite similar to its predecessors, but it smells darn good. And if you're a fan of the first two iterations, chances are you're also going to really love and appreciate this one as well. It's a slightly different twist on the Khamrah Kawa DNA. Longevity on this one is about 8 hours on skin, projection an arm's length for the first hour of application. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 7 or 8. But at the end of the day, it's all going to be contingent on your skin chemistry. As far as versatility is concerned, perfectly unisex in my opinion. I think of the three, this is perhaps the one that leans a bit more on the masculine side of things, but again, wear what you want and wear what makes you happy. I think this one is going to be perfect for the fall and winter and perhaps a cool spring day, especially if you live farther up north in a cooler climate. And I think this one is appropriate for any situation, if I'm being honest with you. Presentation, absolutely beautiful. I love that added rosy or pink color at the bottom and the fact that it fades. It just creates enough differentiation from the others so that if you look at it without reading the label, you know which one it is. My final verdict on this fragrance is, I think it's great. I think it's a solid lineup to the Khamrah Kawa DNA. My only criticism, and I think it's fair criticism, is that it smells quite similar to its precedents and not different enough. That's what I meant to say. I got a little tongue-tied there. But at the end of the day, I think it's a solid release. If you're a fan of Lattafa, if you know that they have super affordable fragrances and you're looking for a spicier, more mature, dare I say, even more elevated take on the original, check this one out. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And of course, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean the world to me. Thank you again so much for everything. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.